Alright, so due to my sister's request, here is my recipe for carne asada. This is mostly for Christine. She asked for it and I finally am going to make it again, so I have everything for it. This is everything you're going to need. You're going to need at least 15 ounces or 1 pound skirt steak, a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons white vinegar. Everything that you're reading off of here I can send you in a Word document and you can easily just look at it over there. Basically the same amount of ingredients of these spices, so you're not really going to mix anything up. And here's what I use. I use the Kikkoman low sodium soy sauce. I use just white vinegar. We have the minced garlic, and then we need lime juice. I don't have any limes, so I'm just going to use lime juice. And then you need your salt. You need your white pepper, your white pepper, yeah. And you ground cumin, garlic powder, oregano, chili powder, and black peppercorns. Grinder. Fresh pepper is good, but you probably don't have all these spices, but it's okay. Invest them now, and then they do worthwhile in your kitchen. And also, I forgot paprika right there. So I'm gonna show you how to cut up the meat. I bought at least, you can't see it, about at least 1.5 pounds. It cost me like $6. And this is about 4 servings. So, and if you really like tacos, that is a lot of servings. So I'm gonna cut this up. Give me a second. I'm gonna get a cutting board and show you how this is cut. Alright, I'm gonna show you how you should be cutting your meat once you get it out of the package. It's gonna look like this. There's gonna be some fat on it, like right here. You don't wanna cut that fat off. Reason why, because you don't want a whole bunch of fat on your meat. You want enough so that when it's marinating to give it self flavor, some of it will come off if you pull it. But I don't want you to eliminate every single piece of the fat, it doesn't matter. See how to cut this, it's sort of tough. There we go. Be careful with your knife too, because blunt knives are very much more dangerous than sharp ones. Because you're there hacking and socking through, trying to get through everything, and then the more force you use, it might slip and it might cut you. Whereas the sharp knives, you get everything done quicker and you're not prone to cutting yourself. So I suggest having a sharp knife handy. It could be one just like this. It doesn't matter. This is just like a normal chef's knife and I love it and gets through the job very easily. You just gotta have good tools. We're just gonna take some of this fat off. And there's some lodged right here. This is sort of tricky. I'm gonna pull it out my edge. The edge of my knife's really sharp. I don't know if you can see that little sharp tip. Alright, I'm gonna just lodge it out with my knife. I can see it too. Just be careful with your fingers. There you go. Feel that fat, it's a little lodged in there. I sort of just pulled it out, so I'm just gonna do that again, or if I can grab it this time, just try and chop it off with my knife. Just pull and cut, pull and cut. It's just a motion you want to go through. You don't want to like cut yourself immediately because you try to do everything too quick. There we go. See, I got that part. You want to be careful because fat is slippery and it might make your fingers slippery. Okay, so now we got everything cut up, right? You want to cut against the grain. I've already started cutting a portion of it. The grain's going this way. Now, let me show you better. The grain's going this way. So you want to turn your meat to where you're going to hit the grain. You want to try and cut small pieces, so sort of like this, sort of like bite-sized pieces. We're going to start cutting a long strip. And if you think the strip is too thick, you'd always just take the strip, lay it flat where you cut it. You see there's some pieces hanging off. You can just take like that. See this sort of thick right there? Take that off if you want. If you want it to be thin. Okay, I don't usually cut it as thin as this. I'll show you another piece. But you're going to want to cut squares. So you're gonna want to cut square, square. Just keep going, and for that, the whole thing of meat. It doesn't have to be this small. I did this on accident because I thought I was cutting too thin. Okay, take all your pieces, put it in a container you're gonna marinate in, and grab those pieces. Just cut squares with those. You want it to be bite-sized, really bite-sized. We're gonna do it again. See, here's another strip. See how much the sharp blade really does help? So now you got your whole strip cut. See, that's your strip. Move this aside. And you wanna, see, this is an okay size. You just wanna cut squares. Rectangle squares doesn't matter as long as you get them cut in bite-sized pieces. Do it again over here. Just want it to be bite-sized, so this is okay. This is fine. If you want it smaller than that, you can do that, but I think this is fine. Just gonna keep going. You're gonna do that for the whole pound of meat, however much meat you have. You can double the recipe if you want more meat. But you're just gonna keep on cutting small squares until you cut them all. Until you cut the whole thing into small squares, you're good. Alright, so I'm gonna keep cutting, and then I'll show you the next part of the marinade. It's really simple, really easy. Doesn't take much effort, except you just need a bunch of spices, and that spices give everything flavor. So I'm gonna come back after I chopped all this up, and I'll show you. Okay, so you round up all your spices that I sent you the list for. Your Alice spices for. You need 1/4 of a teaspoon. Just gonna add the chili powder. Just 1/4. Add the paprika. Add the garlic powder. And then I have some grounded up pepper. Just gonna do all this because I think this is on 1/4 pretty much. Then we have oregano, 1/4 of that. I forgot to show you 1/4. Then we have the ground white pepper. Just 1/4 of every spice that was on the list. And then we have cumin. There's the cumin. And then don't forget the salt. Just any kind of salt, either it's iodized or sea salt, it doesn't really matter. 1/4 sea salt. And then you have 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And then you have 1.5 teaspoons of white vinegar. Move on to the soy sauce. Soy sauce, you have 2 tablespoons and 1.5 teaspoons. So do 2 tablespoons. There's 1, 2, and I finished up this bottle. Let me open this other one. Okay. And 1.5 teaspoons. So go back to the 1 teaspoon. And then 1/2 teaspoon. That's it for the soy sauce. And then we need 1 to 1/4 cloves of garlic. So I usually just do a teaspoon of garlic. About 1 clove is about a teaspoon. Just do about this much. And then we have the 1 to 2 limes juiced. I don't have those limes, so I'm going to be using lime juice. I'm just going to do about maybe 1.5 tablespoons. That'll probably be about 2 limes. You can put more lime juice if you want. The citrus flavor really soaks into the meat, so it just depends on what kind of flavor you're looking for. Another one. There you go. Everything added. And then you just either take a spoon or take your hands, make sure they're clean, and you just mix it all together. And you let it marinate for at least, I would say 3 hours if you're gonna cook it. But for more flavor, I usually just let it marinate for like a day. All the flavor gets in there.